5 News at Noon starts now.
Well, Fort Smith police are looking for more information after shots are fired near a park there, but we're learning from officials. Plus, President Trump celebrates a peace deal in the Middle East, but questions remain about the next steps. What's happening on the ground in Gaza today and the lingering concerns of hostage families. Well, thank you so much for joining us here for your 5 News at Noon. I'm Tiffany Lee here with meteorologist Danny Cassidy.
Hello.
Where Danny, you were right. The sun's starting to peek through.
Yes, finally.
So what can we look forward to for the rest of the day?
For the rest of the day, plenty of that sunshine, a little bit warm, a little bit sticky, but really not too bad. Really what we've been seeing for much of the week this week. We'll show you what's going on across the region. What we're seeing is finally that sunshine, as Tiffany alluded to, finally now starting to open up in northwest Arkansas. For much of the river valley this morning, we've seen plenty of that blue sky, and now we're seeing it area-wide. Temperatures right now, for the most part, you can see in the upper 70s and low 80s, already 84 there in Poto. So again, seeing a lot of that crisp blue sky and sunshine that all of us can enjoy. We're seeing over the past few hours, we've seen that cloud cover really dissipating, and that system is starting to lift off to the north. Also seeing the sun really warm things up a little bit, and sometimes that can help some of that cloud cover kind of disperse as well. So for the rest of the day today, northwest Arkansas, we'll see those temperatures into the low to mid 80s, especially towards the afternoon hours, and we'll see plenty of clear skies tonight. And really over the next few days, it is going to be very clear and very quiet. Same with the river valley. Temperatures will be in the mid to possibly upper 80s, then cooling down in the upper 60s tonight. So it'll be a little bit cooler tonight because of those clear skies, and the humidity will also be dropping a little bit as we head towards the overnight hours. Now, one thing to note is we talked about here just a little bit. Storms are possible on Saturday, I should say likely on Saturday, some of which could possibly be strong to severe. That leads the way to a cooler Sunday out the way. So we'll talk more about that severe risk and the timing and hazards of it coming up in your full forecast. Tiffany?
All right, thanks for that, Danny. Well, Fort Smith police say someone fired shots during a robbery near Martin Luther King Park. Police had streets blocked off while investigating what they're calling an aggravated robbery. At this time, police say no one has been hurt and no one's been arrested, but they are looking for information into the incident. Anyone who may have seen what happened is asked to call Fort Smith police. Meanwhile, in Fayetteville, an anonymous threat forced Washington Regional Medical Center to be put on lockdown. Fayetteville Police Sergeant Stephen Mock says someone called the hospital and made some sort of threat, but didn't tell us what that threat was. Off-duty officers were at the hospital and then more police responded. The hospital was placed on lockdown out of caution, but is now reopened. Police say no credible threat has been found. There were tearful reunions in both Israel and Gaza yesterday as Israeli hostages were freed from Hamas captivity and Palestinian prisoners were let out of Israeli jails. While leaders must still address the big issues of disarming Hamas and governance of Gaza, President Trump has outlined his vision of immediate next steps. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
With the skies over Gaza City calm Tuesday, bulldozers began clearing mountains of rubble in the war-torn region. The destruction and magnitude of debris is also making it more difficult to recover the bodies of the 28 remaining hostages killed in captivity. So far, just 4 have been returned.
It's obviously even bigger challenge than having, I would say, the people alive being released. That's a massive challenge.
Families say the return of all of the remains is a key element of the ceasefire agreement. Even as all 20 living hostages freed Monday reunite with loved ones. One of them was Omri Moran, now home with his family. CBS Morning spoke to his brother-in-law.
It's definitely the most special moment we'll cherish for the rest of our lives. And now we're focusing on his healing, focusing on our family being complete again.
President Trump, who arrived back to the White House overnight, says he's committed to his 20-point peace plan. He says the next phase will focus on rebuilding Gaza.
Restoring the basics of a good life. We're going to have a lot of money coming into Gaza and a lot of rebuilding and building. It's not so much rebuilding, it's really building.
The World Bank and others estimate the price tag could exceed $50 billion.
What is needed in Gaza today is monumental, and every single country around the globe needs to chip in to make it a livable place for its people.
The plan calls for a demilitarized Gaza with regional and international partners helping develop a security force to protect civilians. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Well, the plan also calls for a temporary apolitical committee of Palestinians and international experts to govern Gaza. The timeline for creating that remains unclear. Well, the government shutdown is in its 14th day, and Congress is still gridlocked over funding. Roughly 1.4 million other federal employees have been furloughed and are working without pay. That's all according to a bipartisan policy center review. Meanwhile, more than 4,000 federal employees were recently given layoff notices amid the ongoing impasse the Trump administration revealed in a court filing. The president is making it clear that he sees the shutdown as an opportunity to shrink the size of the federal government.
Some programs that we never wanted.
The Senate is expected to meet today for an 8th time on a resolution to reopen the government, but the House remains in recess with no plan to return anytime soon. Improving safety and highway work zones, that's the goal behind new technology being used right here in Arkansas. And so far, it's showing real results. Now the state is looking to share that success with others. RDOT says the cameras are currently used in 5 active work zones. This new tool from RDOT was made possible by a law passed in 2023. It allowed for the use of speed enforcement cameras in interstate work zones. As for enforcement, it's all handled by Arkansas Highway Police. Officers monitor violations in real time from computers inside their cruisers. If a driver is speeding through the zone, they'll know right away, and they may be pulled over at the end of the work zone and issued either a warning or a ticket. The Oklahoma Department of Transportation got a first-hand look at how this technology works. They say that they hope to use what they've learned and take it to their state legislator to get something similar passed.
Working towards 0 deaths, 0 crashes. The reality is those things are going to happen, but technology like this is going to help us to keep pushing those numbers downward.
Work zone safety is key, and it is at the top of every DOT's list. That's to protect not only our workers and our contractor partners' workers, but it's to protect the traveling public. And so we are extremely excited about what Arkansas is doing.
RDOT says that they are leading the nation with this new technology and want to share it with as many neighboring states as possible. Well, the Arkansas Department of Finance and Administration has rolled out a digital version of your state-issued driver's license for your smartphone. Currently, the Arkansas Mobile ID is available for Samsung and Google Wallet. An Apple version is expected to roll out in 2026. Now, according to the department, it's accepted by the TSA at airport checkpoints in the U.S. Well, severe weather hit much of the country yesterday, with a nor'easter drenching millions in the Northeast and early snow catching parts of California off guard. In New York and New Jersey, the storm claimed at least 1 life, while harsh conditions in the West left residents stranded. Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
In New England, umbrellas were no defense against the wind and lashing rain Monday as the holiday weekend nor'easter barreled into Boston. The storm dumped several inches of rain across the region and led to coastal flooding. New Jersey declared a state of emergency after clocking winds of more than 60 miles per hour.
I got a deck of cards. We're going to play gin rummy and maybe hearts.
Air travel, already disrupted due to the government shutdown, faced more delays and cancellations. And tens of thousands were left without power after toppled trees took down transformers. In New York City, one woman was killed after winds sent a solar panel flying from a carport, striking her. Meanwhile, out west, there's new footage of rescuers lifting a driver from floodwaters over the weekend in Arizona. Their vehicle was swept downstream. Authorities there are still searching for another man believed to have been lost in fast-moving water.
This morning, the sheriff's office mobilized a pretty large search and rescue operation.
In California, more storms slammed the Bay Area Monday, dumping rain in San Francisco and Berkeley. While the Sierra Nevadas were surprised by some early season snowfall.
So were you ready for the snow today? Definitely not. Easy home dressed.
A hit of winter early in the fall as so much of the nation faces weather whiplash. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Well, parts of California are also facing flash flooding watches through tonight as heavy rainfall threatens areas scarred by wildfires. Those areas face significantly great risk of mudslides.